Ladies, are you struggling in your relationships? Are you feeling stuck and frustrated and disconnected because you feel like you don't have the support that you need or that you should have? Ladies, are you struggling in your relationships? Are you feeling stuck and frustrated and disconnected because you feel like you don't have the support that you need or that you should have? My name is Vanya Beric, and I help women who are feeling stuck and they're feeling frustrated and disconnected to find that support that they're looking for. What I find in a lot of relationships while working with women is that they don't feel supported. Now, that can mean in different ways, but so it can mean that they feel like that physically the partner is not doing their share of the work, or feel like mentally they're taking on more than their partner. And so this is when they don't feel supported. But the core theme is that they don't feel supported. They don't feel like they can lean on their partner in some things, in their moments of need. And what I've discovered is what this lack of support that we feel, it changes our energy. It shifts from two whole people coming together and really creating a beautiful, harmonious relationship filled with love and connection. The energies shift more into sort of a mother-son relationship where we feel like we are taking care of the other person, or we feel like we are doing more for them. And it's not that we're necessarily physically taking care of them, but we have to do things to make them, or we have to remind them a lot of times to step up. And this is where sometimes the men can interpret that as nagging, but as they say, well, if you took the rubbish out, but the first time I told you, or if you just noticed the rubbish needs taking out, I wouldn't have to tell you 10 times. And this is, of course, where we get frustrated because we feel like we're not being listened to, and we're not seeing how much the partner is not seeing how much we are struggling. If the partner is not seeing how much work we are doing. And so then, of course, there is that shift in energy where if we feel like we're doing most of the work and we feel like at times we can't rely on our partner, it can feel like, well, we are being used in a sense. We are being, our generosity is being taken advantage of, and we turn more into we feel like we're raising a child who we need to tell to take care of themselves, whether mentally, physically, go make that doctor's appointment. You need to go check that out. You need to do this, to sometimes even physically, that shirt is ripped. You can't wear that, and things like that. So we feel like if they're not taking care of themselves, how can they possibly take care of us or our relationship? What it feels like at times is we ourselves push ourselves way past the limit that we're able to handle. So, and this, that there's always just one more. I just want one more audition, and I'm going to go sit down, even though my back is killing me, or something. Like there is something, or just one more thing, and then I'll take care of myself. I can't take care of myself because of this now, or whatever it is. And so we hit that limit, and then we start folding, and then we're hoping and expecting for our partners to catch us before we hit the ground, for them to realize that actually I'm not doing okay. I need help, and I need you to see that. But they're not seeing it. And so when we hit rock bottom, and we hit the ground, and we don't just hit the ground. It feels like that breakdown is like you hit the ground, and and then the whole earth shakes, your whole world shakes. If the partner still can't see how much you're struggling, how much pain you're in, or they're not giving you the right support, that breaks our heart, because we are in so much pain, even if it's momentary pain, and the partner doesn't see it. And what it feels like even worse, what they do is they feel like they add more weight on top of us. They add more pain because they're so oblivious to what we're going through. And they may go ask a question, or they may go do something that they know that we don't like, or something like that. And that feels like another slap in the face. And that's, of course, when all of our frustration and anger comes out, because I am in so much pain, you are not seeing my pain. But on top of that, you're kicking me when I'm down. And that, of course, can breed resentment, because when we imagine a partner, or what we see in the media, whether it's in movies or social media, wherever you look, the idea of a perfect partner is someone who supports you, who catches you when you fall. In my head, I'm imagining that trust fall where the person crosses their arms, and they fall backwards, and the other person catches them. And that's what it feels like in my head. That, we need our partner that I can hold myself up while I'm feeling good. But in those moments when I'm not feeling good, I need you to catch me when I'm falling, and not allow me to crash and burn and hit the concrete, and then, figure out how to pick myself up again. So when we communicate, we are asking for support. But sometimes when we're communicating, we may be asking for support where we feel like we need support on the physical side. I need you to wash the dishes. And of course, if the partner, if they feel like the work isn't divided, which I don't think it can ever be divided equally, but when the work doesn't feel like it's divided in a fair way, it can feel like they're not supporting you. And that is the case because you are carrying a heavier load than they are. But the support that you may actually need, and the support that actually feels like we can grow and blossom and be ourselves in, is the support where they can support us mentally, so they can see when we are struggling and then help us to grow from there. And for us, it's easier to do the taking care of. We're very good at taking care of other people. Us women are equal to men. As 100% we should be, and I very, very highly stand behind that. But sometimes this idea of being taken care of can make us sound like we are weaker, and that is further from the truth, because men need to be taken care of as well. And if anyone has experienced, or has their partner gone through the man flu, you know that I'm 100% right. Because men, when they are going through their emotions, whether it's physical, for them, I feel like it's mostly physical pain, that they really get into their child self and really want to be taken care of. And this is where this idea of man flu, when they bang their finger and they're like, oh, just make this dramatic big thing out of this little boo-boo. They want to be taken care of as well. They don't feel or experience the emotional pain as much as we do. They express that need to be taken care of through physical pain. And it's obviously much easier to be taken care of the physical pain in a sense because you can see it. I mean, you can see when someone's cut their finger. You can see when someone has banged their toe or something like that. So then you can see what that needs to be healed, or what they need to make them feel better. But when it's emotional pain, because men are not taught, they haven't been taught growing up to deal with their own emotions, and if they can't deal with their own emotions, how are they meant to deal with ours? This is where this gap keeps growing, and the distance keeps growing, and where our connection is withering away because we need the emotional support and they don't know how to give it to us. Them being not able to support us when we need that support, and us supporting them when they need it. So we give the support, but we may not necessarily receive it. Creates this power dynamic shift where we feel like we are the carers and we feel like we are always taking care of other people. And of course, our children need to they need us to take care of them, and they don't need to take care of us. That is not their job as children, especially small children. And this is where our partners should step up and support us. But when they don't emotionally, energetically, it creates that shift of power where we feel like we're the mother, we're mothering the men in our life. And we are taking care of the men in our life. And because we are not being taken care of, so then they're the child and we are the mother. And because that's what we've been taught our whole lives, this feels like some of us, our sole purpose to take care of others. It doesn't create sexiness. It doesn't create intimacy. I mean, thinking about what is attractive, it's not someone who doesn't take care of themselves. When you think of, I mean, I'm sure everybody has heard of the book, 50 Shades of Grey, right? And so what is it that made 50 Shades of Grey so popular? I mean, it sold 150 million copies. And that's just the first book. I don't know how many installments there are. And I don't even know how many languages it was translated in. But this book, what was it about it that was so popular amongst women? And it wasn't that it was groundbreaking literature. And it wasn't about the erotics of the book. There are plenty of other books that have erotic in it and that didn't have the success that 50 Shades of Grey had. And what makes that book so attractive to us women is the character Christian Grey. Christian Grey sweeping Anastasia, that was her name, off her feet and really taking charge and supporting her in the ways that she needed, and taking her on this wild journey where she was able to explore who she is and what she liked, and him being there without judgment, him being there supporting her if she felt like she couldn't do something. I mean, that is, even just if you take away, the idea of Christian Grey, Anastasia Steele, just this energy of someone supporting you, someone just being there for you when you need it, taking your hand and taking you on this wild journey where you get to explore new things, but you still feel safe and you feel like there is no judgment from the other person. Now, just imagining that character, doesn't that in itself feel so sexy and it feels so attractive? So when we have this mother-son relationship, or this power or this energy of mother and son, of course we don't feel attracted to that. And of course we feel like there is no connection. because what we are attracted to, what makes us feel connected, is this person who is a whole, who knows how to take care of themselves physically, emotionally. I think that's a big one for men, taking care of themselves emotionally and taking care of their health. And where we don't feel like we have to jump in and run after them and then constantly remind them of things that they should be able to do on their own. Speaking to men about, telling them this concept of the power change and how allowing them to be taken care of and relaxing into that role, how that changes the power shift and how women view that. They tell me that the reason why they do that is to please. From my point of view, this is what you need. I'm not in tune into what you need. And from my point of view, you need to whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even aware of what you need because I am so out of tune with myself, with my body, with my spirit, that I have no idea what I want. So if I don't know what I want, how can I give you what you want? And I think the outside material world will help make me feel happy, and it probably does to a small degree, to a small period of time. But overall, I think men are, in all honesty, men are as miserable in the relationship as we are because they're struggling with their own demons. And we want them to embody the energy of Christian Grey, to embody the energy of someone who is able to pick us up and hold us. And actually, and I don't necessarily mean physically, but mentally and emotionally, to be able to hold us and hold the space for us to experience something, explore something, meet us where we are. And because they're not doing that for themselves, they are not able to do it for us.
So what do we do if we're not feeling as attracted to our partner and we're not feeling that intimacy, we're not feeling that connection, and we're getting frustrated and angry with them, and we're really not feeling that support from them? I mean, we really have three options. We can either leave, we can not do anything and just hope that it changes by itself. And I feel like the third option is, for most of us that comes to our head, is we can try and change them. But I think if we look deep down and really understand that we can't change anyone, the only person that we can change is ourselves. And the only person that can really understand what we need is ourselves. Because, as I said before, men can't give us what we want because they don't understand it themselves. Therefore, we probably don't give them what they need, even though we do so much for them, but it doesn't sometimes feel like it's what they need because we may not know what we need ourselves, or we may not know how to take care of ourselves and our own needs properly. And so we project a lot of that onto our partners. Now, I know this can be sometimes a shocking truth to understand that even though your partner may not be doing half of the work, he may not be carrying half of the load, that still the only person in this equation that actually matters is yourself, because it's your peace, it's your sanity, it's your life. And really understanding yourself and why you're reacting the way you're reacting and what you're doing the way you're doing, and creating that support, letting go of that control. Because the less supported we are, the more controlling we are, because that gives us a sense of safety. So letting go of that control and really deeply understanding yourself and understanding your relationship and understanding your partner from a point of non-attachment. So understanding them and their own journey and their own struggles and looking at it from a deeply empathic or compassionate point of view, as opposed to a judgmental, you are not doing this for me, and therefore I am judging on everything that you're doing. We won't be able to do that until we really get to know our authentic self and we ourselves become a whole person, as opposed to relying on others to notice when we are in pain. And when we are relying on others to notice our pain, to rescue us from whatever it is that we are going through, what we are doing is giving our power away to them. And we get to feel good mostly when they feel good and they can meet us where we are. And we get to feel, so they get to decide how we feel. They get to decide how much strength we have. So when we continuously don't feel that support and we get more and more frustrated, but we're not doing anything about it from ourselves. So not relying on your partner to change, but for you to heal your emotional wounds and for you to start changing and for you to start seeing things from a different point of view. There is a good chance that your partner may jump on a bandwagon and start changing with you. But sometimes we have to set the example, or we have to show the path and allow them at their own pace, at their own time to take that path. So how do we do that? How do we let go of expectation? That, isn't that why we are with them? Because we do want the support and we do want to be seen, and we do want someone to notice when we are in pain. And the way we do that is through all of those things that we need for other people, is doing that for ourselves. And if you have grown up in an environment where taking care of yourself is a foreign concept, I know that can feel really uncomfortable and strange. But really, it's a necessity, because that's what we're asking of our partners. You start taking care of yourself. Start looking after yourself, because when you do that, you'll be able to see and understand what I am going through. So if we're asking that of our partners, we need to do the same. And I really want to clarify this idea of taking care of ourselves, and self-care is not about having a bath. Of course, it's a part of those things, but it's a very, very small part. Having a bath, going to hairdressers or something like that, that is kind of like retail therapy. It can make us feel better in the moment. The moment that we step out of that moment, we feel miserable again. We feel all those feelings that we felt before that, or they very quickly catch up to us. So my idea of taking care of yourself is about healing those emotional wounds. It's really about finding your authentic self, finding your core of who you are, and peeling those layers back that are holding you back, and really allowing yourself to shine and radiate. And then through that, you can see your relationship shift, and you can see your relationship change. And that is relationship with your kids, relationship with your partners, whatever it is. There's really a big shift in that when you're able to find your own authenticity and find your own core and your own radiance. If you want to learn how to find that core, that authenticity, that radiance, so you can learn how to get unstuck out of your life and find that connection again and really feel supported and let go some of that anger, or a lot of that anger and frustration, and really live in harmony and peace. The way you can do that is if you jump on my Facebook community called Radiant Women, and you can join our community as we all really take that path of healing those emotional wounds, really understanding ourselves, and then peeling those layers back and finding that radiance. And you can, the way you find that group is through my social media. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to make changes, if you're ready to really, if you've had enough of feeling disconnected, and really, if you've had enough of your anger, and if you've had enough of feeling that pain, it's really time. Now is the best time to start, and to really start healing and really creating a new brilliant life for yourself.